Good morning. This is Diary of a Coach, episode 343. 343. Diary of a Coach. How are you this morning? It's Monday morning here in the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria in West Africa. How was your weekend? Hope you had a beautiful weekend. How was your sleep? I hope you woke up feeling refreshed, invigorated, inspired, and ready for the week. Oh, we thank God for His abundant mercies, abundant help, abundant directions, and abundant grace. Don't forget, this is our week of prayer. This week, we're dedicating it to praying for everything we can think about. Yesterday, our prayer focus was protection. Yesterday's prayer focus was protection. So, someone will be thinking, okay, so is this supposed to be a gospel diary this week? Of course not, because by being human, we are all drawn to pray for different things. Whatever your religion, whatever your religious bias, whatever your beliefs, prayer is a part of our daily life. So I'm not asking you to pray in any particular way, but this week is dedicated to prayer, which means we want you to focus on asking the divine God what you really want and how we're going to do it. So yesterday we focused on protection. Today's focus is wisdom. Today's focus is wisdom. That's why today's title is Seek Wisdom. Seek wisdom. Wisdom is a principal thing in this life. Wisdom is a very principal thing. Wisdom is why you would succeed at many things. Wisdom is how you are able to earn the respect and the appreciation of the powers that be. Wisdom is what makes you know when to speak and when to keep quiet. Wisdom is what makes you know when to act and when to observe. Wisdom is what makes you know that everything works together for your good if you are circumspect. Wisdom is what makes you know that out of many people, there is the strength and there is the loophole. Wisdom is what makes you know what to put your money in, what not to put your money in. Wisdom is what makes you know that a time spent with your family is going to reap huge benefits. Wisdom is what makes you know that letting go of hurts and offenses is more for your good than for anybody's good. Wisdom is what makes you know that you are responsible for your happiness, and you're responsible for your sanity, and you're responsible for everything that happens to you and about you. Wisdom is what makes you know that you are responsible to cater for anyone that you produce. Yes, if you have children, you're responsible to cater for them. If you've chosen a wife, you're responsible to cater for her. If you've chosen a husband, you're responsible to cater for him. If you have friends and family, you're responsible to play your role in their lives. Wisdom is profitable to direct. So, what is wisdom? Also, people will tell you, wisdom is no application of knowledge. That's the book definition. They say, wisdom is the application of knowledge. That is one thing to know something. It's another thing to know when to use it, how to use it, in what dose to use it, and in what ways to use it. They say that is wisdom, which is very okay. I agree. And so I like to even look at it from a more pragmatic way. Wisdom, in my opinion, is the capacity to know how to behave. Very simple way to look at it. The capacity to know how to behave. If you ask me, just knowing what to do, when to do it, how to do it, in what way to do it, to whom to do it, is wisdom. Knowing that if I want to grow old, I should value and honor old people is wisdom. Knowing that those that are way behind me, they are the future that would hold me up, and respecting them even in their naivety, in their recklessness, in their lack of understanding. That is wisdom, bro. Wisdom is knowing that all my contemporaries, directly or indirectly, are also my support system. And if I'm able to connect with them at that level, they will help me as I evolve. That is wisdom. Wisdom is knowing that my immediate neighbors are my first family, because when the chips are down, they're the ones that will save me or ignore me. That is wisdom. So, wisdom is very important to know how to relate. Wisdom is very important to know how to decide. One of the biggest wisdoms we should seek is interpersonal relationship. There are tons of people in our lives that God has planted. And while some can be intentionally difficult, and some can be intentionally unreasonable, and some can be unknowingly unreasonable, wisdom is where you know how to trade your energies so that you can be in the best possible space with each person. That's wisdom. But wisdom is a lot of work. Wisdom requires you to sometimes play dummy. Wisdom sometimes requires you to play ignorant. Wisdom sometimes requires you to shut your mouth even though you feel like bursting. Wisdom requires you sometimes to walk away even though you feel like reacting or responding. Wisdom is sometimes taking the beat and the heat. And wisdom sometimes is just muttering under your breath and praying for the person and saying, it's not the time to talk about this. Wisdom can be very hard to apply, but wisdom is profitable to direct. It is a principal thing in this life. Wisdom is you knowing that as you run a business, you should try to be compliant with the law. You should try to be humane with your staff or partners, and you should try to be sensitive to your customers. That's wisdom. Wisdom is you, the business owner, knowing that every staff that you have is a privilege that they work with you. Wisdom is you knowing that every customer that patronizes you, it is an honor that they came to you, because there are options a customer would like to explore. Wisdom is you knowing as an employee that that job is not even a matter of who your employer is. It is God that sent you there as an assignment, on an assignment. Wisdom is an employee knowing that my employer is not God. And my employer just does the best he or she knows to do. And I should contribute my quota because someday I may be an employer myself. Wisdom is you knowing that in every space I occupy, I am a change agent. I can influence a lot of things, and I would rather influence positive energy. That's wisdom. Wisdom is you knowing that accommodating toxicity and bad energy is detrimental to your health and mental stability. That's wisdom. Wisdom is you knowing that laughter is a necessary gateway to expelling pressure and expelling pain. Wisdom is you knowing that joy is internal and not something anybody can create for you. That's a lot of wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing. So this week, and today especially, being the focus, I'd like you to spend some time and ask for wisdom. There are 5 ways I think one can become wise. 5 ways, in my personal opinion. There are 5 ways one can become wise, or increase in their wisdom, or demonstrate wisdom. The first is to pray for wisdom. Pray for wisdom. Ask that, oh God, help me to be wise. Teach me wisdom. That for me is a very important step. Step number 1. Step number 2, observe people who are wise. You see, there is a lot of power in observation. There is a lot of power in silence. Some of us are too precautious. You are too jumpy. In Yoruba, they'll say, ombe, you are jumping. You are too forward. It may not be wise. Sometimes Just sit in your, call it your shade, your isolation, and observe stuff. Observe wisdom. Wisdom is always around. It's a spirit. It's a persona. Wisdom always hovers around us through people's behaviors, through patterns, through words, through actions, through outcomes. Wisdom is always pervasive. It's always around. So if you can observe, you will learn a lot of wisdom. If you can just teach yourself to hold on, you will learn a lot of wisdom. Hold on with your talk. Hold on with your action. Stay back. Observe. Watch. You will see wisdom at play. Then you learn and ask yourself, how can I apply this? How can I apply this? So the first step to growing your wisdom is to pray and ask for wisdom. The second step is to observe people and observe situations and observe stuff and learn wisdom. Third step to growing wisdom is to ask questions. Sometimes our folly is demonstrated in what we think are our answers. Sometimes we think we know. And then as you open your mouth, you just expose your folly. So the third step to becoming wise is to ask questions. Ask when you don't know. Ask when you don't know. Read about stuff. Be curious. That's the word actually. Be curious. If you are curious, you are likely to learn wisdom. As you're observing what does not look like you know or you understand, ask questions. You may not ask the person who is doing it, but ask around to understand why things are done. Ask around to understand why things go the way they do. Ask around to understand the cycles of life and the patterns and the principles of life. Ask around to understand the system of the world. That's wisdom. It's being shrewd. You need to ask questions because there is a system that governs the world. There is a system that governs behaviors. There is a system that governs everything in this world. And asking questions will give you insight, will open gates and doors of wisdom for you. Ask questions. The first, I said, pray for God to give you wisdom. But guess what? I'm not sure that God will give you much wisdom just by dropping it in your brain, like by just downloading a file in your head and just reformatting one segment of your hard disk and say, wisdom installed. I don't know. But I know that God will give you places, people, steps, actions, situations where He's expecting you to observe and ask questions and observe and ask questions and observe and ask questions. And then you are learning from it, because a lot around wisdom is also experience. A lot of things around wisdom is also experience. You will find that young people or middle-aged people who tend to be wise have stayed around old people. They have lived around, walked around, stayed around, asked around old people. So those who have lived with their grandparents or older employers or older uncles and aunties, or, by virtue of those associations and relationships, they have been able to imbibe a lot of, sage behavior, a lot of older thinking. And that is where experience is associated. So by associated experience, some people are wise. By their personal experiences, some people are wise. Some people are just inherently wise. So seek wisdom. It's very attractive to be wise. It's very attractive to be wise. Number 4, claim it and live in it, as in, tell yourself, I am wise. As you're asking questions and you're observing and you're praying and you're seeking, tell yourself, I am wise. I do wise things. Speak in the present or in the past. Don't say, I will be wise. Don't say, I will do wise things. No. Say, I do wise things. I am wise. I'm a living wise man. I am wisdom in flesh and blood. I think wisely. I act wisely. I behave wisely. My friends ask me because I am wise. My counsel is wise. My behaviors are wise. My decisions are wise. Speak that to yourself, because it's an attraction. As you're attracting that vibe, you begin to be curious the more. you begin to be cautious the more. Because as you are saying you are wise, the responsibility for wisdom begins to fall on you. And then you begin to find that you are careful what you say, you are careful how you say it, you are careful what you do. Sometimes in my isolation, I love to be isolated. I love my quietness. It's a major asset for me because it allows me to observe. It allows me to see stuff. It allows me to introspect. It allows me to think. It allows me to assess. And then I'm able to do things. And I am wise. I am wise. I know. I do wise things. Even when I've made mistakes, I found that my wisdom helps me redefine my mistakes and I'm able to walk around them. I am wise. And lastly, act your wisdom. As you are telling yourself you are wise, show your wisdom. Act it. Don't let the fear of, am I wise enough, to stop you from being wise. Be wise. Just be it. As in, act wise. Say wise things. Don't just claim it. Say it. Don't just say, I am wise. Say wise things. Don't just think you are wise. Think wise things. Don't just claim that you want to act wisely. Act wisely. Behave wisely. Be wise. Let us see an example of it. And hey, there's no time when you are wise enough. None of us is wise enough. There is no threshold. There is no standard. There is no boundary. There is no circle. There is no gate. There is no block. Just be wise. Just be wise. Act it. Be it. Show it. Demonstrate it. Choose to be different. When people think that he's trying to form sage, be sage. When people say he's trying to form different, be different. When people say he's trying to form. Be it. Wisdom is profitable to direct. I like how Henry Spice puts it. Practice your wisdom. That's a very good one. Practice your wisdom. Practice your wisdom. So don't just claim it and say it and hope it and imagine it and think it. Do it. Do it. Willard says wisdom comes with a lot of patience. Yes, very true. Because in your wisdom, you understand that it's not who first acts that gets things done. It's who intentionally, strategically acts that gets wisdom. So, I hope today I leave you with this thought and I inspire you to pray. Pray for wisdom. Observe those who are wise. Ask questions. Be curious. Claim your wisdom and then be wise. These 5 tips would go a long way to do you good. Thank you for watching Diary of a Coach today. This has been episode 343. Gradually, we're inching to 365. I can't wait. And I'm grateful to you all for being a part of this family of Diary of a Coach. I want to thank everyone who was supportive as we rounded up our first level of mental health first aid yesterday. We're looking forward to level 2, holding this coming weekend. We're looking forward to hosting Dr. Kingsley Okonoda. I'm so excited. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. So thank you so much for watching Diary of a Coach today. Hey, it's Monday morning. Let's go cracking. And I wish you every success that is in your way today. Everything that has your name attached to it. Every good thing that has your name attached to it, you have received and you're using and you're enjoying it. And your wisdom is showing. And so it is. Thank you immensely. Thank you, Mimi, for all the love. I can see you. Thank you for punching the love button. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful Monday. Have a beautiful week. Yesterday we prayed for protection. Today the prayer focus is wisdom. See you tomorrow as we go to another prayer point. This is the week of prayer and we pray our way through. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.